Chosen one, listen carefully. There's a reason why your spirit feels restless in crowded rooms, why noise makes your soul ache, and why laughter around you sometimes sounds hollow instead of comforting. You've tried to blend in, you've tried to adapt, but something inside you keeps whispering, this is not where you belong. That whisper is not weakness, it is not shyness, and it is not a flaw. It is your final test. This test is not about passing an exam or proving yourself to people. It is about learning to live with the awareness that your path will never look like everyone else's. While others move easily with the crowd, you carry a fire that cannot survive in noise, in distraction, or in superficiality. Your silence is not emptiness. It is alignment. Your distance is not rejection. It is protection. And every time you feel the ache of not fitting in, heaven is reminding you, you were not made for the many. You were chosen to rise among the few. But here is the struggle. The loneliness weighs heavy. You've asked yourself, why me? Why can't I just be like them? And yet, chosen one, don't you see? That very discomfort is proof of your calling. If you could drown in the crowd, you would lose the clarity of your mission. This test is not here to break you. It is here to refine you. And if you endure it, if you embrace it, you will discover a strength the crowd will never know. The strength of walking with purpose, even when it means walking alone. If you feel this truth in your heart, write 111 in the comments. It's a simple act, but it declares that you choose purpose over comfort and that you're ready to walk your path with clarity. And before we go further, make sure you subscribe right now. Not because of numbers, not for algorithms, but because this space was created for souls like yours, souls who refuse to sleep, souls who are ready to awaken, souls who are learning that separation is not punishment, but preparation. By subscribing, you're joining a family of chosen ones who carry the same fire you do, a family that understands why your steps are different. Take a deep breath. This is not coincidence. You are here because the time has come to recognize that your isolation is not random, it is divine strategy. And today, you will finally understand why being unable to stay around many people is not a curse, but the clearest confirmation that you were marked for something greater. Chosen one, let's go deeper. Separation has always been the signature of the called. Look back at your own story. Hasn't it always been there? From childhood, when you felt different even among friends. In adolescence, when the things that excited others left you strangely unsatisfied. And even now as an adult, when you enter rooms filled with people, you may smile, nod, and play the part, but inside your spirit whispers, this is not home. You see, separation is not random. It is the hidden blueprint of your destiny. The Creator himself wrote it into your journey. While others were allowed to blend into the noise, heaven pulled you away, not to punish you, but to preserve you. Because what you carry is fragile when it first awakens, and the wrong voices, the wrong influences, could contaminate it before it matures. That's why some friendships suddenly ended. That's why certain opportunities, though they looked perfect, slipped through your fingers. That's why relationships that seemed so promising crumbled without explanation. At the time, it felt like rejection. It felt like failure. But in truth, it was divine protection. Heaven was guarding your path, ensuring that nothing and no one could dilute the purity of your calling. And yes, separation is painful. It makes you question yourself. It makes you wonder if you are broken, if you are too much, or perhaps not enough. But the truth is far greater. Separation is proof that you are chosen. Because the chosen cannot be everywhere. They cannot belong to everyone. Their road is narrower, their company fewer, because their mission is heavier. Think about it. If your purpose is extraordinary, how could your path be ordinary? If your destiny is sacred, how could your preparation be common? This is why your journey has often felt lonely, because it was never designed to be crowded. The crowd walks toward comfort. The chosen walk toward purpose. And purpose cannot fit through the wide gate where everyone else goes. It demands the narrow road carved only for your steps. But here's the hidden beauty. What looks like solitude is actually sacred escort. While you thought you were walking alone, angels have been guarding your steps. While you mourned the friendships that faded, heaven was surrounding you with unseen allies. While you questioned why doors were closing, the Spirit was whispering, "Not this way, I'm preparing another." Chosen one, let this truth sink deep. Your separation is not rejection, it is refinement. Every moment of loneliness has sharpened your discernment. Every closed door has strengthened your dependence on divine guidance. Every season of isolation has been carving you into someone who cannot be shaken when the time comes to stand. So, the next time you feel the sting of being misunderstood, the ache of being different, or the weight of walking alone, remember this. You are not being punished. You are being preserved. And when the right moment comes, the reason for every separation will shine with clarity. And you will see that what once felt like a wound was in fact the greatest act of love heaven could give you. If separation is the proof of your calling, temptation is the proof of your battle. And the enemy knows this better than you realize. From the moment heaven marked you as different, unseen forces have been studying you, observing the places where your guard is thin, searching for the cracks in your armor. This is why your struggles have never been random. The temptations you face are not accidents, they are targeted. Think about it. Why is it that the same weaknesses seem to follow you, cycle after cycle? Why does the same type of distraction appear just when you are closest to breakthrough? It is because the enemy knows where your power lies, and he knows how to twist it against you. For the chosen, desire is not just human, it is spiritual. It is raw energy, fire placed within you to fuel your mission. But the enemy cannot create, he can only corrupt. So instead of letting that energy rise upward into purpose, he tries to drag it downward into distraction. He dresses traps as pleasures, disguises cages as comforts, and lures you with illusions that seem harmless, but slowly drain your strength. This is why the attacks often feel so intense. They are not designed for everyone. They are designed for you, because your energy, your sensitivity, your fire carries weight in the spirit, and if it can be scattered, stolen, or misdirected, then your mission is delayed. Not destroyed, but delayed. And every delay is a victory for the darkness. Look closely at your own story. Haven't you noticed how temptation intensifies when you are about to grow, when your clarity is about to sharpen, when your spirit is rising? It is no coincidence. The closer you are to purpose, the louder the enemy attacks. He knows he cannot take your calling away, but if he can keep you tangled in cycles of distraction, you will never fully step into it. And this is the sobering truth. Temptation is not proof of your weakness. It is proof of your strength. The enemy does not waste energy on those who pose no threat. If the attacks against you have been heavy, it is because what you carry is heavy. If the enemy has been relentless, it is because heaven has placed something inside you that he fears. Chosen one, do not mistake the intensity of your battles for abandonment. They are confirmation. They are the evidence that you are marked, that you are watched, that you are carrying something too valuable to be left unchallenged. And once you see this, once you recognize that the enemy's strategy is built around your potential, you begin to shift. You stop blaming yourself for being attacked, and you start standing as someone worth attacking. Because when you know that every weakness the enemy tries to exploit is actually tied to your greatest strength, You begin to take back your power. And that is where victory begins. Temptation never shows up wearing chains. It comes dressed as comfort, disguised as relief, appearing in moments when your guard is low and your heart longs for rest. It whispers, just this once. It will make the ache go away. And in that moment, the trap is set. The danger is not in the desire itself. Desire is energy, sacred fire placed within you. The danger comes when you allow that fire to be misused, when what was designed to lift you higher is redirected into something that leaves you empty. That is why the enemy waits for moments of weakness, moments of loneliness, moments of exhaustion. He knows that if he can make you believe that momentary pleasure is worth the cost, you will trade a piece of your destiny for a fleeting illusion. And you know this already. Think of the times you gave in, not because you were evil, not because you were weak, but because you were tired. What followed? The pleasure was brief, but the emptiness lingered. The laughter stopped, but the heaviness remained. The distraction passed, but your energy, your clarity, your focus, those were stolen. Every time you fall into the trap, it is not just your body that feels it, it is your spirit, crying out, "This is not where I belong." The enemy doesn't care about the act itself. What he wants is the aftermath. He wants the shame that makes you hide from God. He wants the guilt that makes you question your worth. He wants the confusion that makes you doubt your calling. Because the moment you forget who you are, the moment you believe you are unworthy, you become weaker. Not because you are less chosen, but because you stopped believing you are chosen. This is the cruel cycle: temptation, indulgence, emptiness. And the longer you stay in it, the more it convinces you that you cannot break free. But here is the truth you must remember. Every time you resist, you are not just saying no to the enemy, you are saying yes to your destiny. Every act of discipline becomes an act of warfare. Every moment you rise above the trap becomes proof that your spirit is stronger than your flesh. So let me ask you right now, do you feel this message pulling on your soul? If you do, seal this moment with a declaration in the comments. Write something simple, something powerful, something your spirit needs to hear. I choose freedom. Let your own words break the agreement with the trap. Let them remind you, and the unseen world around you, that you refuse to be enslaved by illusions anymore. Because once you declare it, once you stand in it, the trap begins to lose its power. And what once felt like a chain becomes nothing more than smoke dissolving. In the light, chosen one, what if I told you that the very energy you have been fighting, fearing, and sometimes resenting was never your enemy? What if the fire that rises inside you, often in the form of desire, was not given to you to break you, but to build you? This is the hidden key that so many never discover, the secret of transmutation. Transmutation means transformation. It is the process of redirecting energy from one form into another, from one purpose into a higher one. And this is where your true power lies. Because the energy of desire is not ordinary. It is raw, untamed spiritual fire. In the hands of the enemy, it can enslave you. But in your hands, when mastered, it can elevate you into a dimension of clarity, creation, and spiritual strength you never imagined possible. Think for a moment. Every time desire rises, your body feels alive, charged, almost vibrating. That surge is not just biology, it is voltage. It is proof that something within you is awake. Most waste it. They scatter it in empty moments that leave them depleted, ashamed, and weaker than before. But you were not called to waste fire. You were called to master it. And mastery begins when you stop asking, "Why do I feel this?" and start asking, "How can I use this?" History itself confirms this truth. The greatest men and women of faith, of vision, of leadership were not empty vessels. They were burning ones. They carried passion so intense that it shook nations, rewrote history, and brought light into dark places. Do you really think their energy was ordinary? No, it was the same energy you feel within you now, but it was transmuted. Instead of being drained by it, they directed it. They prayed with it. They created with it. They built with it. They led with it. Chosen one. Discipline is not about killing the fire. It is about guiding it. Imagine a river with no banks. It floods, it destroys, it drowns everything in its path. But when a river is given boundaries, it becomes life-giving, turning deserts into gardens. Your desire is that river. Without direction, it can consume you. With direction, it can nourish everything connected to your mission. This is why the enemy targets your desire so fiercely. He knows that if you ever learn to control it, if you ever learn to redirect it, you will become unstoppable. He doesn't fear your weakness, he fears your mastery. Because a chosen one who has learned to transmute desire becomes a weapon of light. Every time you resist scattering your energy, you are storing power. Every time you redirect it into prayer, focus, vision, or creation, you are sharpening your authority. So here is the shift you must embrace. Do not curse your desire. Do not bury it. Do not despise it. Honor it as sacred energy. Train it with discipline. Let it serve your purpose instead of stealing your destiny. Because the truth is this: temptation is not just a test of resistance. It is an invitation to transformation. Chosen one, the fire inside you is not here to destroy you. It is here to reveal who you truly are. And once you master the art of transmutation, you will look back on the very struggles that once shamed you and see them as the birthplace of your greatest strength. Chosen one. Strength is not built in moments of comfort. It is forged in the fire of resistance. The path of the strong is the narrow road that almost no one dares to walk, because it demands something the world does not understand: consistency, discipline, and faith when everything around you tells you to surrender. This is why your journey has always felt heavier than most. It is not because you are weak, but because heaven entrusted you with battles that require uncommon endurance. Not everyone is able to withstand the pressure. Many fall, not because they were never called, but because they choose comfort over purpose. They exchange eternal destiny for temporary relief, clarity for distraction, and strength for fleeting pleasure. But you, chosen one, you have been called to something greater. Each time you resist what was designed to ensnare you, you rise. Each no you speak to temptation resounds as a victory, not only for yourself, but for generations connected to your destiny. The path of the strong is not about living a life free from temptation. On the contrary, it is about facing the storm and remaining unshaken. It is about walking into the battlefield of desire, loneliness, and confusion, and choosing light even when darkness promises easier answers. Every temptation you have endured has been a measure of your spiritual weight. Do you see it now? The more relentless the attack, the greater the treasure you carry within. The enemy never wastes his weapons on those who pose no threat. Strength is not revealed in the absence of struggle. It is revealed in your response to it. The strong are not those who never feel the pull of weakness, but those who, even in weakness, cling to their purpose. The world may see your battles as evidence of fragility, but heaven sees them as proof of your refinement. Every time you resist, you sharpen your discernment, you deepen your authority, and you expand your influence in the unseen realm. And this is the mystery. The very fire that once sought to consume you has been shaping you into someone unbreakable. Each trial has added another layer of resilience. Each temptation resisted has added another layer of authority. Each lonely step has prepared you to walk where few can follow. And while others may not understand the cost you have paid, heaven has recorded every tear, every prayer, every moment you chose discipline over destruction. The path of the strong is not for the many. It is for the few who choose to embrace their mission fully. It is not the easy path, but it is the one that leads to legacy. When you resist, you are not just protecting your own soul, you are planting seeds of strength in the soil of your lineage. Your resistance speaks life into the generations after you, breaking cycles, shattering chains, and opening doors they will one day walk through with freedom. Chosen one, never forget. Strength is not measured by how easy your road is, but by how unwaveringly you walk it. And one day, when you look back, you will see that what felt like relentless warfare was actually heaven training you for unmatched authority. You will realize that you did not just survive, you were being shaped into the warrior who could carry the fire without being consumed. That is the destiny of the strong. Chosen one, you have walked with me through the shadows and into the light of understanding. Now, as we arrive at the close of this message, let me remind you of something essential. Nothing you have endured has been in vain. Every battle with desire, every lonely night, every tear shed in silence, these were not punishments, they were preparations. The weight you've carried has always been proof that your spirit was marked for something greater than the ordinary. The warning you've heard today is clear. Temptation is not random. It is a carefully designed trap meant to pull you away from your destiny. To fall into it is to surrender the keys of your purpose little by little. But resisting, choosing the narrow, often painful path, is to rise above the storm and step into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Your resistance is not weakness, it is strength. Your restraint is not loss, it is victory. And your endurance, even in the hardest moments, is a crown invisible to men, but radiant in heaven. This is why you cannot measure your life by the standards of the many. You were not called to live as the crowd lives, to walk where everyone else walks, or to accept what the world calls normal. You were chosen to stand apart, to live with clarity when others settle for confusion, and to rise when others collapse. That is why your path feels heavy, because it is holy. That is why your trials have been fiery, because they were forging you into gold. That is why your solitude has been deep, because heaven has been speaking to you in the silence. But now comes the victory. The very fact that you have stayed until the end of this message proves something about you. Your heart is awake, your spirit is willing, and your destiny is alive. You didn't turn away. You didn't let distraction win. You stayed. And staying is proof that you are already stronger than the forces trying to break you. Heaven is watching, and it has already seen your faithfulness. So now, it is time for you to declare it with your own mouth and seal it with your own hands. Write in the comments these simple words: I will not fall, I am chosen. Do not underestimate this act. When you write it, you are not just typing letters, you are aligning your spirit with your destiny. You are telling the universe, heaven, and even yourself that you are ready to rise above the trap, ready to turn temptation into triumph, ready to walk as the warrior you were always meant to be. And if you have not yet subscribed, now is the time. Do it, not for numbers, not for algorithms, but for yourself. Because here you will find reminders of your strength, guidance for your journey, and a family of others who walk the same narrow road as you. Subscribe now so you never forget who you are, so that every word that comes after this one continues to strengthen you, sharpen you, and remind you that you are not alone. Chosen one, this is your final test, and you are ready. Do not look back. Do not give the crowd your ears or the enemy your energy. Walk forward with courage, with clarity, and with confidence. Because your story is not ending, it is only beginning. The chains have already been broken, the path has already been cleared, and the light has already been placed within you. Go forth with fire in your spirit, purpose in your steps, and peace in your soul. You are not just surviving, you are overcoming. You are not just resisting, you are rising, you are chosen, and heaven has already written your victory.